Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally happening. The full restart of the DCU. Superman 2025's teaser trailer just dropped today, and there is a lot to unpack with it. First of all, it looks awesome. So obviously the Snyderverse is being discontinued because of how much of a mess that was. I think Henry Cavill was kind of the only bright spot of that. Flash wasn't bad, but you know, it's Ezra Miller. I didn't like the Batman. I thought Ben Affleck as Batman really didn't do a very good job. And the one who played Wonder Woman, she actually might just be the worst actress ever.
Max Lord, you're putting yourself and everyone else in grave danger. I need you to give me the stone. What happened to it?
But besides that, if you look at the Justice League that came out, that movie was like an F-tier movie. I didn't like that movie at all. Now, I went back and I watched the Snyder Cut, and yeah, you know, it was better. It definitely moved the movie up to like a B tier, maybe a B plus tier. I don't think I'd give it an A tier. But the problem is the runtime was 4 hours. What am I supposed to do with it? I'm not going to sit there, take 4 hours out of my day to watch a movie, especially one that just isn't that good. Now, I know this isn't a superhero movie, but if you look at something like Interstellar, that's a very long runtime too. That's only about 3 hours though. But that's an S tier movie. I would happily sit through 3 hours of that any day of the week. But now Zack Snyder is out of the picture. This is a complete reboot. This is a complete new thing, which is much needed. And the biggest thing is we know James Gunn can write. We know James Gunn is very, very, very good at superhero media. On the Marvel set of things, Guardians of the Galaxy was probably that second best franchise other than the Avengers. And even recently, the 2021 Squad. I thought that movie was very good. And then he comes out with Peacemaker and Creature Commandos, which out of the last couple of years has been some of my favorite shows to watch. Creature Commandos is only on episode 4, and I think that show is awesome. Same thing with Peacemaker. I'm dying to see a season 2 come out. So this is a breath of fresh air for DC. Now, something to note in this trailer is they have some key people. They have Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. They have Hawk Tuah Girl. So I think instead of doing what Marvel did, where they showed Iron Man and they showed Captain America and they showed the Hulk and then they brought them all together for the Avengers and they just moved and moved and moved, I think they're just jumping right into it, which I'm not mad at because this is a breath of fresh air. I'm not sure people want to sit through 3 Batman movies, 3 Superman movies, 3 Wonder Woman movies. Oh, look, they all come together. Especially because that's what Snyderverse tried to do, and we saw how much of a mess that was. We saw how what Marvel did is very, very, very hard to execute. So I like this. This is a breath of fresh air, and without further ado, let's break down the trailer. So the trailer starts here with this cold Arctic shot, probably somewhere close to the Fortress of Solitude, as we see later in the trailer, and you see Superman hurtle towards the ground and get planted. Now, James Gunn said that this movie is going to start action-packed, so there is a very good chance that this is the first scene in the movie. And then here we cut to Clark Kent, looking like Clark Kent, obviously taller and bigger than everybody because he's Superman, and I love it. He looks like he's just fumbling around like Clark Kent would, completely unaware of everything. And this guy, I mean, he looks like he's right out of the comics. He looks awesome as Superman and Clark Kent. So then we cut to Smallville and we see Papa Kent still alive. This is interesting. Some adaptations he's alive, some adaptations he's not. But with how packed this trailer is and how much is going on in this movie, I really doubt we'll get to see a relationship between them, or they would just kill him off early. Now, here's something interesting that we see that I didn't think was going to be in the trailer. We get to see Krypto the super dog coming in to rescue Superman, and he even says here, "Hey, take me home."
Krypto. Home. Take me home.
And he grabs Superman by the cape and charges through the ice, which means Krypto has superpowers here and he's going to be canon to this universe. I love it. We never get to see Krypto in any adaptations except for kid shows. And then we get to see Superman save this little girl from what looks like an explosion in probably the coolest shot in the trailer. And we get to see what this Superman is about. He's about helping the people. He's about helping the small guy in that slow-mo shot. Oh my gosh, that is what you want to see out of a Superman movie. And then you get to see the guy, motherfucking Lex Luthor. Let's rewind that for a second. This is so Lex. He sees Superman fly by and he just looks angry that Superman is alive and just being Superman. This is what you want to see out of a Lex Luthor. And then the other thing that you get to see is Luthor Corp. Now, generally it's Lex Corp, but I guess Luthor Corp actually makes more sense just based off of like a real life thing, right? You name companies after your last name. This is also consistent in the universe with something like Wayne Enterprises. So I'm not mad at this. I get it. Now, this is something that is so cool. You see Lex holding the revolver with the suit on with maybe, I don't know, I'm speculating, a kryptonite bullet in it. It just looks so classic. Same thing with the Smallville farm. Same thing with this shot of the Daily Bugle. Now, I know that they have flat screens and stuff, but it all looks very 70s, including Superman's outfit. It's all very reminiscent of the 70s Christopher Reeve Superman. Now, we're all used to seeing the very sleek, the very modern take on superheroes, and this holds especially true with somebody like Henry Cavill, who I thought did an amazing job. I thought those were very good movies. It's just a shame that that universe completely went downhill from that. But seeing these colors, I was thinking to myself, you know, that looks a little weird. That looks a little strange. This doesn't look great. And then I saw this trailer and I went, wow, this works so well. This is such a colorful movie. The colors work amazing in contrast with some stuff that we're going to see upcoming. It just feels like Superman. It feels so good. That's what she said. Now we see a little bit more of a serious side of this trailer. You see this kid raising up a flag, probably because his home country is being attacked. And then you see Superman all beat up and all dirty, which is kind of that serious contrast that I was talking about a little earlier and how that works. Now, another big thing we see here is that Clark is in a building ran by Simon Stagg. Now, Simon Stagg is a villain generally to Metamorpho in the comics, although he did make an appearance in Arkham Knight 2015, although I doubt they'll put him as a Batman villain in this universe. So now you see Green Lantern walk in and do his thing, which is awesome. We've been wanting to see Green Lantern in the big screen for a while now. This one doesn't count. And this is obviously Guy Gardner. You can tell by the bowl cut that looks kind of insane on the big screen, and it works in the comics. And I'm not going to say it doesn't work here because it looks pretty villainish almost. Because let's be real, if you actively, consciously decide to get that haircut, there's something wrong with you. You're a villain. You're not to be trusted. But obviously, that's not what they're trying to go for here. They're trying to go for these people are all superheroes. But I have to respect the comic accuracy, so everybody knows that it's not Hal Jordan. Obviously, it's not Jon Stewart, but this is Guy Gardner. And in this next shot that you can see, besides Hawkgirl in this first shot, it's Mr. Terrific, and they look like they're all in uniform. So the rumor that's going around is that they're being sponsored by Maxwell Lord, but I wouldn't be surprised since they're in a Stagg building. They're being sponsored by Simon Stagg, which if you know Superman's values and Superman's morals, he would not be okay with this. And then you get a pretty cool shot of Hawkgirl, which is all great and dandy, but then you cut to a kaiju. Yes, we have a kaiju in this movie. Then you get a shot of Superman and Lois, and something's going on in the background, but it looks like the Lantern is handling it. Then you get a shot of them macking, but then you get this really, really interesting shot of Superman crying over a robot. So the only thing I could really think of is that this is a Kryptonian robot with maybe a message from his parents or something to that sort on. Absolutely fire shot of the Fortress of Solitude, but then we get to see this character right here, which looks like it might be Metamorpho. Now, Metamorpho can adjust his body to whatever element he wants to, and sometimes that means kryptonite if Superman is a threat to him. And the only reason I say Metamorpho is because if you see on the right arm right here, it looks like a different thing than on the left arm. So I would speculate that this is Metamorpho, especially because Simon Stagg is in this. And then you got a shot of Lex, who's obviously been beat up one way or another, just looking angry, just looking pissed off, man. That's what you love to see. That's classic Lex Luthor. So then you see a shot of this guy punching through the wall and Superman taking a really, really, really hard hit. Now, there's no way to tell who or what this is, but obviously they have him covered up for a reason. So I would assume that this is Ultraman or Bizarro, the things that Lex Luthor has cloned in the past. Now, they like to make the Superman clones into Bizarro, but this is what I was talking about earlier. This guy looks like a mercenary. This guy looks like a badass, dark, deep versus the colorful Superman that we're getting. And that's why I think this is just such a great contrast, man. Now, the other thing I could mention is that this could very well be General Zod, although I don't know how they would pack Zod into this, let alone Bizarro or Ultraman. But this could also be a film where some of these villains get away and there's just one villain that is captured to set up something else. Because like I said, remember, James Gunn said if this movie bombs, there is no DCU, so there needs to be incentive. Also, Mr. Terrific's T-Mask looks unbelievable. And you can see Mr. Terrific fighting off these villains. Now you can see in their armor, they have that green and purple color scheme, which is screaming Lex's OG battle armor. So I don't know, man. I think they're LexCorp villains. So then you get a few more pretty cool shots here, but nothing of too crazy significance, and that will end the trailer breakdown. This looks amazing. I really think this is going to be able to breathe light into DC. I think this is the revitalization that they need, and I think James Gunn is the perfect guy to go with. So I'm very, very excited, very happy, and I'm looking forward to this. Have a great day.